It's going on now, so you should, Patrick. I hope you're live streaming because we should be doing it right.
My screen went black. We're here in DC demanding a permanent ceasefire now, stop arming Israel, stop genocide in Gaza. Activists are taking action. We're here demanding a permanent ceasefire. We are here because we want Congress and Biden to act on a permanent ceasefire. Nearly 18,000 people have been killed in the past 2 months, almost 8,000 children. Congress has spent $21 trillion in the last 20 years on militarism and war and occupation. Aren't we tired of it? We're tired of it. Imagine what we could do with 21 trillion invested in our communities, healthcare, housing. Congress has spent $21 trillion on war and occupation in the last 20 years. When the Senate says they're spending military aid to Israel, it doesn't just mean money. It means shipping weapons. It means killing Palestinians. Billions of dollars of taxpayer dollars go to these five corporations to manufacture jets and bombs for Israeli genocide, surveillance systems, and militarizing the border. You have weapons manufacturers, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, Boeing, all profiting from war. While families struggle to make ends meet, Congress is spending money on separating families. Not a penny more for money for border militarization. Not a penny more for Israel's genocide of Palestinians. This spending package that Congress is trying to pass, $8 billion for immigration enforcement agencies, to further demilitarize the borders, to separate our families, to send us to jail, to surveil and deport migrants at a higher rate, 25 billion to U.S. government agencies, right? Let's divest from militarism, invest in life. The so-called aid to Israel has resulted in death and devastation for Palestinian families, while our communities and families in the U.S. do not have the resources for our basic needs. The so-called aid to Israel from the United States has resulted in over 300,000 Palestinian homes destroyed. That's 60% of the habitats, right, of the people's housing units in Gaza. We need money for housing here in the U.S. Homes are being foreclosed. People are being evicted violently by the police. Right? We need to invest in our communities, invest in our people. We demand a permanent ceasefire. It means not a penny more of our money to aid Israel in destroying homes and killing people. While Congress's so-called aid is sent to destroy hospitals, ambulances, it's killed over 295 medical workers in Gaza. 26 million people here in the U.S. are without health care. During the height of the pandemic, our healthcare workers were considered frontline workers. What about Palestinian healthcare workers? Are we not protecting them? Are we not lifting them up as heroes as they try to support and help their communities that are being bombarded by U.S. tax dollars? Over 7,800 Palestinian children in the last 2 months have been killed. We don't have resources for schools, for childcare, for affordable college. Not a penny more to aid Israel's killing of children and destroying the schools. This is the people's house. Permanent ceasefire means not a penny more to aid Israel's genocide. Let's stop lining the pockets of war profiteers and the politicians, the warmongering politicians that take their money and they take us to war. Fund people's needs, not genocide wars and weapons. $106 billion could go to our communities. Fund the most fundamental needs of our communities: healthcare, housing, education, food, good green jobs. Fund the needs of the people, not more war. Let's fund the poor, not more weapons for war. The U.S. should not be using our tax dollars to send money and weapons to Israel, an occupying power that is committing genocide against a population that has been living under occupation and under siege for over 75 years. Long live a free Palestine.
End the genocide. Stop the bombing. It's originated right here in this building. The money for bombs falling on children is starting here. It's our duty as Americans to tell our senators and tell everyone to stop this. End the money buying bombs to fall on children. This is disgusting. Everyone seeing this has a moral duty to stop the bombs falling on innocent people who did nothing to anyone, who are standing there waiting to die, watching their families die, waiting to see the rest of their families die. How can you stand by and do nothing? We're here to stop this. We're here to say that this is bullshit. We're here to say that ending the genocide has to be now. Stop the genocide. Stop the bombing.
Arrests have already begun. Folks are demanding a permanent ceasefire. Stop arming Israel. Stop the genocide in Gaza. Long live a free Palestine. We are here because we want Congress and Biden to act on a permanent ceasefire now. Nearly 18,000 people have been killed in the past 2 months. Almost 8,000 children. More than 7,000 people are still missing under the rubble. 61% of U.S. voters want a ceasefire now. Why isn't Congress and Biden acting? This is the people's house. Take it back. When the Senate says that they're sending military aid to Israel, it's not just mean money. It means shipping weapons to kill Palestinians. Stop arming Israel and stop the genocide of Gaza. Stop bombing Israel. Stop genocide in Gaza. When the Senate says that they're sending military aid to Israel, they're killing Palestinian families. 61% of U.S. voters want a ceasefire. Why isn't Congress and Biden listening? More than 7,000 people are still missing under the rubble. Nearly 18,000 people have been killed in the past 2 months, almost 8,000 children. They should be arresting these U.S. politicians, these weapons manufacturers, these Israeli politicians, right? They're the ones that are committing a crime, not these people, not these folks. They're here to speak up for the Palestinian people and the liberation. Permanent ceasefire now. Stop arming Israel. No more border violence and genocide in our name. Divest from militarism. Invest in life. How's it this way? We're demanding a permanent ceasefire now. We're here because we want Congress and Biden to act. We're demanding a permanent ceasefire. Nearly 18,000 people have been killed in the past 2 months. Almost 8,000 children. Congress has spent 21 trillion the last 20 years on war and militarism and occupation. There's blood money raining down. Imagine what we could do with this 21 trillion if we invested in housing, healthcare, good food, healthy food. We could support our elders, our people, our workers, instead of filling the pockets, lining the pockets of weapons manufacturers and their warmongering politicians that accept these contracts and send this so-called aid to wage violence against Palestinians. These beautiful people being arrested, they're not the criminals. The criminals are the ones that manufacture these weapons. The criminals are these politicians that send billions of dollars of weapons, of missiles, right? To go wage war on a people that are demanding their liberation. When the Senate says that they're sending quote unquote aid to Israel, it's not money that they're only sending. They're sending missiles, they're sending bullets, they're sending bombs. They're sending the technology capable of killing hundreds of people in a matter of seconds. The Senate and their Congress people are in bed with these politicians. I mean, these politicians are in bed with these weapons manufacturers. Where could we invest the money in, right? We could give health care for 4.8 million children. We could build 6 million public housing units, resettle 1.4 million refugees, build solar power for 23.9 million homes, right? That's what we can invest money in. And life-sustaining, life-affirming needs for our communities, not more means to obliterate entire families and generations in Palestine, in Gaza, in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, right? The Philippines. We should not be using taxpayer dollars to send money and weapons to Israel, an occupying power that has committed genocide against the Palestinians and has waged a siege on them and their people for over 75 years. While workers are struggling to get a pay increase, a minimum wage, Congress is fattening the pockets of these weapons manufacturers. And when I say that these politicians are in bed with these weapons manufacturers, you know, 2 years ago there was a study done that showed that 51 members of Congress and their spouses and their partners had between 2.3 and 5.8 million dollars in stock in the top 30 weapons manufacturers and corporations that profit from war. So what is this really about? It's about money. Fund community needs and corporate greed, as the people have demanded. Is the vestibule area? The vestibule area right here? They're moving us out of here. Oh, we demand a permanent ceasefire. It means not a penny more for so-called aid to Israel, genocide, and to line the pockets of these war profiteers, right? Let me move.
All right.
Ceasefire now! We will not have it. We are not going to tolerate it. We are not going to sit by and let our tax dollars go to murder of children, of people, innocent people in Palestine, people who are wanting their freedom, who have every right to exist on the land that they exist on. Not another dollar, not another dime. We're calling for a ceasefire now. We will not settle for anything less. Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now!
The people are demanding a permanent ceasefire now. Stop arming Israel and its genocide on the Palestinian people. We're here because we want Congress and Biden to act. A permanent ceasefire means stop sending arms to Israel, stop supporting. For too long, the U.S. has provided diplomatic cover and military support to the occupation of the Palestinian people. It's supported the expulsion of Palestinians from their homes and from their lands. Right? A permanent ceasefire means ending the violence. It means stop sending weapons. It means end the diplomatic cover for the ability of the Israeli government to wage genocide against the Palestinian people. Nearly 18,000 people have been killed in the past 2 months. 8,000 are children. Many, many more are missing under the rubble. Do you think they're still alive? We demand a permanent ceasefire and an end to Israel's assault on the Palestinian people to end its genocide. 61% of U.S. voters want a ceasefire, yet Congress and Biden are willing or unwilling to act. So we're here to remind them of their responsibility to act. Not another nickel, not another dime for Israel's war crimes. When families struggle to make ends meet, Congress is spending money on separating families, right? The spending package includes $8 billion for immigration enforcement agencies to further militarize the borders, as well as to jail, surveil, and deport our immigrant family members at higher rates, on top of the already $25 billion the U.S. government allocates annually. Divest from militarism, invest in life. The so-called aid to Israel has resulted in the death and devastation of Palestinian families, while our communities and our families here in the U.S. do not have the resources for the basic needs. Let's fund, let us fund our families, our communities, our black, brown, indigenous, working class communities, poor communities, unhoused folks. There's so much that we could do with the funds that the U.S. government wages in the means to wage war, right? A permanent ceasefire means not a penny more of our money to quote unquote aid in destroying homes and killing people. Not a penny more to quote unquote aid Israel's killing of children and the destroying of schools. We demand a permanent ceasefire now. While workers are struggling to get a pay increase, the minimum wage, Congress is fattening the pockets of war profiteers of these corporations. The executives and shareholders are also sitting in Congress. 51 members of Congress and their partners and their spouses own between 2.3 and 5.8 million dollars in stock. So that means that every time a bullet is shot, a bomb is dropped, they're making money. Don't you see it as a conflict of interest how these politicians who vote to wage more war and more funding to wage these wars are also making money off of it? War is a racket. Let's take money out of war. Let's hold these Congress people accountable. 61% of U.S. voters want a permanent ceasefire. So why isn't Congress and Biden acting? I'm going to end the stream now. As our people say, long live a free Palestine. The people are demanding a permanent ceasefire now. Stop arming Israel. Stop the genocide in Gaza. No more funding for border violence and genocide in our name. Divest from militantism. Invest in life. We are here because we want a permanent ceasefire. We call on all people of conscience to join us in this demand. It's time for Congress and Biden to act.